Hi, everybody. Welcome to Geek.0. I'm Chris.
And I'm Shawn Michael.
This is going to be episode 5 of season 1 of Geek.0. Big 5. Coming to y'all from Shawn from the Geek Cave and myself from the luxurious Drury Inn in the boot heel of Missouri, Poplar Bluff. So it's a good thing Skype's around. We'll just say that much. So obviously we haven't been quite as consistent as we've liked to have been. That a lot of that is on me and my work schedule. I travel around a lot, and sometimes a hotel just doesn't have a good internet connection to do Skype. So that being said, as much as we can, we are going to try to keep updated. We are going to try to get a couple episodes out this week to make up for the fact that we weren't available last week. So for those of you that are sticking with us and sticking around, we appreciate that, and we're going to keep right on going. We've got a few good topics today. A lot of stuff's been going on in the geek world. And the first thing that I really want to talk about, because I'm a huge fan of this show, and I know, Shawn, you like it yourself. You're a little behind on it, but you are wanting to get caught up, is the fact that Community has returned. Hashtag 6 seasons in a movie. Hashtag, thanks, Jimmy Fallon. Community lives on. And I'm really pumped about this, and I'm very thankful that Yahoo, of all, I guess you could say networks, stepped up to the plate and saved this show from cancellation. It was done. It was on NBC and it was canceled. And so, Shawn, I know you're a fan of Community and the whole aspect. What is it that you like about Community? I mean, obviously every nerd has probably watched it, but what's your take on the show?
Joe McHale is awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
The whole cast is good, but there are times when he truly, he kind of steals the show. Community is fantastic, whether you're a geek or not. If you're into intelligent TV, and I know that sounds funny if you've ever watched an episode and seen some of the things that happen on that show, but I think the underlying stuff that goes on between the characters, the writing is really well done. And yes, I agree with you. I am very glad that Sony and Yahoo were able to come together and just nail something out just hours before they were going to kill the show.
Literally, like 12 hours before it was done.
I mean,
everybody was out of their contracts. So.
Exactly. I was going to say, with people, with expiring contracts and other stuff going on, I'm really glad that Yahoo stepped up to the plate and said, let's see if we can't, help your fans out. It's a good show. I have not started season 6 yet. I will say that there was a little bit of trepidation there because it's not the full cast, and so I was really concerned that the magic of the meshing there wouldn't be there. Not to say that I miss Pierce for a number of reasons, but I'm glad to hear that you, because you've told me a couple things, that it's still Community quality. So props to Dan Harmon. Keep going, man.
Well, and the other nice thing about it is it's shot very. It's very cinematic this season. The lighting's different. The pacing and stuff. It's a little bit different, and it's prettier. In all honesty, it's prettier than it was. So I mean, and then you've had some people join the cast this year that have been a good join. You've got Paget Brewster has joined the cast. From Criminal Minds and a couple of other things. I think it's Criminal Minds, right? Was she in Criminal Minds? Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. And so you've had some good people join the cast, and it's still, you don't have the Troy and Abed interaction anymore, but you haven't had that you haven't had that. You didn't have it in season 5, and you really didn't have it for the last half of season 4, I don't think. But it's still got Ken Jeong in it as Senior Chang. Abed is still there. Annie's still there. you know, everybody, the dean is still there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff still going on with Community. It's still a lot of fun, and I'll be honest with you, it's still a better comedy than 90% of what is on TV right now.
Well, it's definitely got a massive fan following, as evidenced by all
yes, it does.
By all the online petitions and everything else that happened when they were considering canceling it. And you know, as long as we've got Chang, we've got Joel back, and of course our ambiguous Dean.
It's not. I'll just say this: it's not very ambiguous.
It's not. It's not. So, if you remember Pat from Saturday Night Live, there's nowhere near as much confusion. But yeah, I can deal with that. Like I said, I thought Troy was a loss. I really, really do enjoy his character, and let's face it, Troy and Abed's their interaction was a huge part of the show for the first 4 seasons.
Yes,
so,
it was.
It was one of the main driving things. I actually think most of the show was written around their stuff a lot of times. So
yeah, because it kind of started out as the Jeff and Britta show and evolved from there.
Yeah, getting much more deeper into their world, so to speak. So, but yeah, intelligent writing, good stuff, and I'm glad to see it's back. And as soon as I finish off season 5, I definitely want to start, checking out season 6. So thank you, Dan Harmon, for pushing and making sure that us fans, we got our show back.
Absolutely. So very happy that it's back. They're releasing. They started out with 2 episodes a couple weeks ago, and they're releasing a new episode every Tuesday, just like a regular TV show. Which part of me likes, and the other 80% of me absolutely despises it, because I have become so accustomed to binge watching shows that not having all 13 episodes of Community right there ready for me to watch is just, it's like a punch in the gut. Because you watch your 22 to 25 minutes and you're ready for another 22 to 25 minutes, because it's still high quality. So, like you said, thanks Dan Harmon, thanks Yahoo, thanks Sony, thanks everyone for pushing to keep Community going. So # Community lives on. And my timer went off, so oops. So that being said, you go from the wild and the silly and the goofy that is, Greendale Community College into something else that happened today itself. That's a very good impression. The first photo of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was released today, and I gotta ask, and this is gonna be a bad joke, but DC, why so serious? Okay,
that was really well done. It was really well done.
Seriously, I mean, it's just, you got Superman snapping neck, got Jesse Eisenberg giving Magnum to the camera. You've got sad Batfleck. I mean, everything is just so great. Oh, and you've got Jason Momoa, the Samoan Aquaman. I mean, everybody just, nobody's having fun. I mean, what do you think, man? It just seems everybody's so dour about it.
I don't know. So here's my take on it. Zack Snyder. I really, really think he has a burning desire to hit it out of the park with this.
Right.
DC has, granted, we've got some decent TV shows, and let's not take anything away from some really good franchises, because you and I are both huge Arrow fans and huge Flash fans. But
so good. Both keep getting better.
DC has not been represented well as a franchise, if you want to call it that, in the motion picture industry at all. There's no good staple quality.
Outside of the last 3 Batman movies. Well, 2 of the last 3 Batman movies.
Yes. Well, yeah. Okay. So, and unfortunately, it's taken a long time for us to get to a point, and I think they were holding off for a long time because they weren't sure if the world was ready for it. And Marvel has they've overtaken the entire planet with Marvel Mania.
If you don't think Avengers 2 is going to be the highest grossing film of all time, you are on crack.
And I
that
think
movie might be the first one to break 2 billion. I mean, it's going to be huge.
I'm going to call you on that after the numbers come in the first couple weekends. So
I'm curious because it's going to be massive.
It's going to be massive.
So good.
And I think there's a lot of pressure because of that for Zack Snyder to bring this first major franchise for DC to the theaters. And it's not even just a single hero movie either. It's not even a buddy film like Avengers. And not to take anything away from the characters, but he's taking two of the most prominent and powerful figures in all of DC Comics.
In all of comics.
In all of comics, period. Yeah, very good point. And bring them into the same movie. And, I mean, every still we've seen so far from the movie has been dark, rainy, Batman looking like he's contemplating, the...
Killing himself.
Yeah, no, serious. Like, contemplating life and death. Superman looking like he's having to make some serious judgment choices. So a lot of brooding and darkness, and I think it's going to be deep, and I think it's going to be really good. And Jesse Eisenberg, I think, is an amazing choice to add to the cast. This is a kid who does not get enough credit for the stuff he does. He is absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen him in a role that he didn't just run away with it. Still to this day, one of my favorite, if you want to call it performances ever, is him in Social Network. He was absolutely fantastic, portraying a person who is very difficult to portray. The Zuck. The Zuck. But he's such a great character, from Zombieland, to Social Network, 30 Minutes or Less. He does such great characters, and I think the still that I saw when I read the headline, Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, I was like, huh? And then I saw the still, and I was like, oh yes, dude.
I was impressed. I really was.
It's gonna be good.
The still was impressive, and I loved him. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh yes, I can't believe.
That's Michael Cera.
Yeah. They do look so much alike.
It's let's just say this: I'm glad they went with Jesse Eisenberg and not Michael.
Yeah, at least Jesse's Eisenberg isn't like this big around in his arms and legs. So
yeah, Eisenberg has the capability to be a solid actor in the situation.
Yes.
I mean, I really like it. I guess what my concern is it feels like it's gonna all be dark, and I understand that, but it should almost, like the Batman stuff. I get, he's the Dark Knight. He should be dark. He should be dour and sad and putting roses on his parents' grave and dreaming of necklaces bouncing off the alley concrete and all that crap. He's Batman. But Superman is supposed to be a beacon of light and, the big blue Boy Scout and, spit curl and a smile. And I feel like if it's all dark, people are just going to be, it's going to be huge. It's going to be an extravaganza. There's going to be crap blowing up all over the place. There'll probably be some super slow-mo because it's Zack Snyder. But you need a balance. You need a Tony Stark to your Captain America. You got Captain America who's all super serious and
right.
Freedom and patriotism and yada yada yada. And then you have Tony Stark is like, hey, I provide the money and I'm funny and I hey, to the owner of a Honda Accord, there's a building on it. That kind of crap. So I feel like we need some kind of balance there. Maybe they'll add that with the Flash when he comes in, because he usually tends to be kind of a fun character. But you're going to have some kind of release in the movie. And I'm concerned that he's not going to have that.
Well, here's the thing, and I will say this. I have seen a number of movies. I think we all have seen tons of movies where the trailer ended up being, the best part of the movie. But we've seen movies where the trailer presented movie a certain way, and it turns out the subject matter of the movie, or I should say the storyline of the movie, was far different from the way the trailer made it look. So I'm curious to see an actual full trailer for the movie to see how much of it is dark, because I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But I really think he's treating this carefully. We have a lot of faith in Zack Snyder. Obviously, so does the studio, to trust him with this. I think he's going to do it right. I don't think he'll
Right.
have it so depressing and brooding that we're going to lose viewers. Either way, I'm excited for it.
Right, I am too, and I'm not one of those guys that hated on Man of Steel. I actually enjoyed it.
I did too.
Outside of Pa Kent being, hey, maybe you should let the kids on the school bus die. I did kind of struggle with that. Clark in a base, lock in a cellar type situation. Don't know about your powers. Outside of that, I really enjoyed the movie, even with the probably tens of thousands of people that died in Metropolis in the fight. I think the fight was a justifiable situation in the movie. Everybody's like, oh, Superman would have never fought in Metropolis. Well, Zod's not going to leave Metropolis. You got to fight him where he is. So, of all the people that grouch, it is what it is.
I like how we like to wax philosophically or judge the actions of a fictional character in a fictional universe, and we get so wrapped up in it. And you see these fans,
but he's
like,
Superman.
Superman
never kills anybody.
Yeah, he would never do that.
Superman never kills, except for all those times in the comic books that he's killed.
I was just going to say that.
All those times. I'm pretty sure he's killed Zod at least 4 times.
Is that what he told you last weekend when you two were hanging out? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I've hung out with Superman in Metropolis, Illinois. I've seen the giant statue. But I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's killed Zod like 4 times in the comics. So yes, Superman will kill a guy. Superman will cut a bitch when he has to. Okay.
It's about to get real.
On the serious note of DC, it looks like the live action stuff's going to be the serious stuff, but there's fun stuff coming. We've had some fun stuff in the form of, Lego Movie. Where you had Will Arnett as Batman, and it looks like there's even more Lego movies on the horizon. And I actually wasn't aware of all this, and you brought this to light. So Sean, why don't you talk about what's coming with Lego, with the Lego franchise?
Dude, okay, so here's the deal. Lego fanaticism has hit the earth. Obviously, the Lego movie was far beyond a runaway hit that they did not expect. So should have been nominated for an Academy Award. Yeah, I mean, exceptional movie. If you haven't seen the Lego movie, the writing is just so much fun. It's so much fun. It's one of those fantastically written movies. It reminds me of the early Pixar movies, only much more adult even than them, where the kids can go in and watch it and just have all this fun. And there's so much subtext for the adults that they don't pick up on, And here's what gets better. So back to what's coming from Legos. Jason Segel, who is a genius, really, really good guy and very talented. Him and Drew Pearce are actually co-writing one of the new Lego movies that are coming out, which is going to be called The Billion Brick Race. But the guy wrote Iron Man 3. We'll forgive him for some of that. Iron Man 3 was better than Iron Man 2. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I was disappointed in Mandarin. They made Ben Kingsley look like a bitch, man. It's not cool. But here we go. So Legomania has hit. So coming in 2016, we've got a Ninjago movie. Okay, or Ninjago. I've never known how to pronounce it. I don't know. I think it's Ninjago. The way you said it. Yeah, I always mispronounce it. So either way. Have you ever seen that show? I have. I've seen a couple of the cartoons, and I've seen kids with the toys going fanatically crazy. Yeah. So it's fitting that they're doing one. So 2016 is Ninjago. Okay, 2017 Lego Batman movie, baby. That's gonna be sweet. Yeah, and then Lego Movie 2 in 2018, and then the Billion Brick Race after that. So that's a butt ton of Legos. I'm just gonna tell you right there. Yeah. Thank God they're animating them, because I don't even want to know how many Legos it would take to make. I don't think you could do stop motion on those movies. On as if that's where you were going. So I don't think that's possible. So so Lego Mania has definitely hit. We've got some great stuff to look forward to. I personally am super duper duper stoked for the Lego Batman movie.
Me too. I think it's going to add levity to the DC
yes,
the DC movies.
His character is so beyond funny in the Lego movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Nice and sarcastic and just I agree with you. Will Arnett is a great choice. I mean,
yes.
Kevin Conroy would always be better because, I read the comics and Kevin Conroy from the animated series is the voice of Batman to me. That's my Batman.
Yeah, he is Batman, yeah.
But Will Arnett's a solid choice. There are others that have done Batman. Well, for example, Ben... Oh, he's on Gotham. I can't think of his last name. Doesn't matter. Either. Jim Gordon on Gotham was Batman in the Year One cartoon. He was okay. No Kevin Conroy. Will Arnett's about as close as I've gotten to being happy with someone other than Kevin Conroy. And I know somebody had to take up the mantle at some point. So, yay for Will Arnett. I really like what you do. So, a lot of pop culture in this episode. So we try to do pop and tech. So, how about something that you can watch these movies on or download the Yahoo Screen app to watch Community on?
I'm so excited about this.
We've got 2 new tentpole phones coming out. I guess 3. I guess 3, actually.
Okay.
Because you had the Galaxy S6, the Galaxy S6 Edge, and the new HTC One M9, or I also believe they're calling it the M9 Plus. Is that correct?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's the new HTC.
Yeah, so here's the deal.
Start with Galaxy.
So what we have is we essentially have 2 phones that matter. So that'll be the 6 and the 6 Edge. And I want to love HTC. The HTC One M8 was just a fantastic phone. It just really just upped the ante. They took all that great hardware and power and amazing camera and just fantastic stuff, and they put it in this beautiful unibody metal frame. It was fantastic.
I'll say this: they had the M7 even before that. That's what my wife carries. That has the aluminum body. When that phone came out, it was literally that was a phone that looked like it should be a status symbol because it had the all aluminum body. It had the Beats headphones. I think it's like a 15 or 16 spectacular freaking speakers. I'm still a big fan of the HTC. I mean, my wife, hers is getting to be 2 years old. It's about time to retire it. As with any smartphone, you get to 2 years, it's about time to retire it. But I wanted this phone to be so much more than an awesome set of speakers and a nice body. Yeah,
and unfortunately, the M8 was it was very much a evolutionary and revolutionary change for that line. The M8 really upped the ante. Unfortunately, the M9 said, I don't know, the M8's really good. Let's change the finish on the back a little bit, and
they stuck a 20 megapixel camera in it. They did stick the new 840. Is it the 840 or the 810? It's the 810 Snapdragon in it. Yeah. So I mean, it's snappy. It is quick. Is it the fastest thing on the planet? No, but there's nothing new here, and this is one of the things that is a big problem. It's like going from when Samsung went from the S4 to the S5. Yeah, nothing to set the world on fire. And fortunately, HTC has taken quite a good job of not hyping it at all. I've seen less news about the HTC M9 than any of the previous 3 phones that of their flagship phones. But since you mentioned tentpoles, let's get back to 2 phones that are going to, I think, change things for a number of consumers. So the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. You gotta love Samsung finally deciding that maybe consumers knew better than they do. So consumers have been bitching. That's been kind of a ongoing theme in the last 8 months with phone manufacturers, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. So Samsung fans and users as a whole have been complaining since the S3 that they're paying premium prices for an all plastic phone.
And what you get is an all-plastic phone that is completely packed to the gills with in-house software and apps. And when you finally get done with it, you have a phone that's so packed with junk you can barely put anything else on it when you get it.
TouchWiz.
And so it's been a huge issue. And Samsung, we thought, after when the S4 came out, people thought maybe there would be a change. But they were let down. And when the S5 was coming out, there was a lot of talk about it before the unveiling, about it, having a lot of those high-end features like a metal body and things like that. And alas, so far from the truth. So Samsung said, okay, here's the deal. We're hurting in sales, obviously. They're selling their phones like hotcakes, but they're not making money. They've got a bad business model with it, the way they're doing it. And they said, why is Apple making, all this money off of their hardware? And they realized that Apple does everything in-house, aside from the fact that they buy all the processors and things that power their phones from Samsung.
Why sell it to them?
So
cripple Apple and be done with it.
Well, here's the deal. Keep in mind, were it not for the revenue from the sale of iPhones and their processors,
there would be no Samsung.
There would be no Galaxy phones.
Yeah.
So, the S6 is absolutely phenomenal so far on paper and in reviews and everything else. I can't wait to put my own hands on it. We've got an all-metal unibody frame, a unbelievably powerful processor in-house. They've opted to move away from Qualcomm, which is an interesting decision, and to go with an in-house processor that is said to be actually more powerful. It is 64-bit.
So is it similar to like an A10 and an iPhone 6?
There you go. So we're looking at an in-house processor that we're not going to get all the details on the specs of. They're pulling an Apple here. So they're telling you that it's comparable and slightly more powerful than, a Snapdragon 810. But 3 gigs of RAM. And then, of course, the S6 Edge takes it a step further with that gorgeous curved screen. And they're really knocking it out of the park. Everybody who's touched this thing says it's amazing. They fixed the fingerprint. They fixed the scanner for the fingerprint, the Touch ID. Now it works just like the iPhone, where you just touch it instead of having to swipe your finger. Super high resolution screen, highest resolution screen on the market for any phone by quite a margin. This thing is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and it's getting better. John Legere was on Twitter earlier today bragging that if you bought an S6 from T-Mobile, you get a free year of Netflix. So, I mean, everybody is going to be pulling out all the stops to make sure that this is a blockbuster launch. You've noticed that Samsung, instead of doing what they did with the S5, which was put on a multi-million-dollar menagerie that was a complete, weird experience, to say, look at this most amazing phone ever, instead of doing that and having it get wet and having it suck, they decided to just say, here it is, and that's what you do. People
are losing their minds.
Under promise and over deliver, and
exactly.
That's what they
you want to know what my favorite part of the phone's going to be?
Oh, hit me up.
That you can delete all of the stupid bloatware crap off of it.
Samsung finally, and here's the thing, they didn't just make that, they eliminated 40%. Before that, they even eliminated 40% of the onboard software from Samsung in the first place that was going on the phone, and then they made the rest of the apps, at least the non-Google ones, anything from Samsung, removable. You can delete their crap off the phone. Let me tell you, to those of you people out there who are going to hate me for saying this, I have no effing desire to have the NFL mobile app on my phone. And there's no reason that it needs to... I follow
the NFL, and I don't want it on my phone.
And I don't... no need for it to take up that much damn space, and you can never uninstall it. There's so many apps that just suck up your memory. So this is awesome. Samsung has said, this is what our users want. Let's give them a premium phone, with an unbelievably high-res screen, unibody design, all metal framing, really solid display, lots of power, tons of RAM, and then let's at that point make sure that we're not loading it down with all of our junk, and maybe if we build it, they will come. And I guarantee you that this may it's hard to say right now because there were so many letdowns with the S5. But I guarantee you're going to see a lot of news come about the S6. And here's the deal. This is how I know the S6 is going to be a blockbuster phone.
Yeah.
Not just the public is talking about this phone. Apple is afraid of it. For the first time that I've been able to find a record of ever, Apple is actually offering a trade-in program for people to trade in their Galaxy devices or their Android-based devices to switch to an iPhone in an effort to switch as many users over over before the S6 launches. Try to get them locked into a contract on an iPhone before the S6 launches, because they have a feeling now that Samsung has taken and actually made a premium phone that they're going to lose users now because of this.
Yep. It really makes me wish the S6 had come out and say, I don't know, August or September.
Yeah.
And I bet it's making a lot of iPhone 6 and 6 Plus users wish that as well. But man, it's going to be hard not to get that phone for my wife. I mean, I have an iPhone for work. It's a requirement. I don't get to choose. As unfortunate as that is, I've been Android, and that's why I was talking up the HTC a little bit earlier. I've had HTC. I've had Evo 4G, Evo 4G LTE, Evo Switch, Evo 3D. My wife's had the M7. I'm a big fan of HTC and what they do. And up until this phone, I was very happy with everything that had come out. But my wife's going to be coming up on a new phone in June. So I guess for Father's Day, she's probably going to get a new phone like she did a couple of years ago. But it's probably going to be time to take the plunge into the Galaxy. I was looking at the OnePlus One. I was looking at the Nexus. I was looking at all these different phones. But, man, the Galaxy S6 is going to be hard to beat. So, it may be time to be one of us. It may be time to join the cult of Samsung and move on. Move on from HTC, go to a big boy phone, I guess.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, we want to try to keep these things a little bit short. So I know I'm not exactly sure what our time is right now, but we're looking pretty good.
32 minutes.
Ooh, that's a little bit longer than we'd like to go, so we'll try to keep them shorter from here on out. But as you can see, we're very passionate about what's going on today. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. You can hit us up at Geek.0.com. You do have to spell out point. It is a web address. You can't just stick a period right in the middle of it. Facebook.com/Geek.0, Twitter.com/Geek.0. You can see all of the stuff that we've got going on social media and on our website. We've got some good stories there.
Just for clarification, that is Geek.0. So
sorry,
when we say Geek.0, just in case somebody doesn't know.
My bad.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Geek.0, and that is the numeral 0, not ZERO. So with that being said, I'm Chris.
And I'm Shawn Michael.
Reminding you to let your geek flag fly. Have a great week.